I always took art seriously. I always knew I would be an artist. In high school, I started looking at what my options would be for art school. I knew I wanted to go, and I found the Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts in Philadelphia, and they are the oldest art school in the United States, and they are one of the few still teaching a very traditional education. The only things they teach are drawing, painting, printmaking, and sculpture. I discovered encaustic in my last couple of years of art school. I would go to the First Friday art walks, and certain artworks would catch my eye. I would see that there was a different surface with more texture, more three-dimensionality, and kind of a luminous look to it. It was always really appealing to me. And with those artworks that caught my eye, I would always look at the tag that would be next to the artwork on the wall, and the tag would always say encaustic. The simplest way I can describe what encaustic is that it's hot wax with resin and pigment added to it to give it its color. And I apply the paint with a brush, and I scrape with a tool, and I use a propane torch. When I walk into the studio at the beginning of a painting day, the first thing I do is turn on my griddles. I need my paint to be hot in order to paint with it. What I really love about the process of encaustic is the immediacy. There is no waiting. It's very direct. Once I pick up my brush full of paint, I have about 3 seconds to get it on the painting where I want it, how I want it. I think the encaustic lends itself particularly well to my interest. I have a love of movement in my paintings, and when you're forced to work quickly because your paint dries so quickly, I think it makes for a good partnership. The mirror in my studio is actually a tool to help me see what my work looks like. It adds distance, as if I've walked across the room, but it also flips the image around so I get a fresh perspective. That can help. My first tango classes were in Philadelphia. She was just teaching it by herself, and I thought, okay, I think I can do this. This is not very comfortable, but I think I can do this. And then on, I think, the third lesson, her dance partner came, and they did a little demo in the middle of the room for us to see, and I just about gulped and ran for the door. At the time, to even be that close with a man and that intimate and moving together was not an easy thing for me to do. If I'd known what I was getting into, I never would have made it to that first class, so good thing I didn't know. I met my partner dancing. These days, we get out dancing usually 1 to 3 times a week, and when we travel, we always pack our dance shoes. Just about any large city in the world has a community of Argentine tango dancers. You don't have to speak the local language. All you need to know is how to dance. It's a language of bodies. One of my new friends said, "Why don't you paint tango?" And I'm like, yes, I think this makes really good sense. It has the human figure, it's in motion, it's romantic. And so now I've been painting Argentine tango for like 18 years. And every once in a while I take a break, but I always come back to it again. I enjoy bringing people together to share food and wine, and my partner also loves that. I would say my ideal day actually is painting and gardening and cooking. Have a dinner party at the end of the day and then go out dancing. I paint what I know. My painting is not separate from myself, and I don't feel myself if I'm not getting to paint. It's okay if a few days go by sometimes, but I feel so much better and myself when I'm in the studio. And it gives me something to look forward to getting in the studio to see what it looks like today. Some panels have quite a history, actually, of a number of paintings have been on them before I finally settle on the painting that stays there. And sometimes those remnants of color end up being what makes the next painting really work. And whether it's my dining room table or a friend's dining room table at a holiday meal or a certain place I traveled to and danced, they do have memories attached to them very much.
Catch Art Zone Friday nights at 8 and anytime online at seattle.gov/artzone.